The world of Dragon Ball isn't just about explosive battles and epic power-ups, it's defined by its unforgettable villains. I'll be covering the most impactful, lore-intriguing villains from the entirety of the Dragon Ball series, with the Z movies appearing in a separate video. Emperor Pilaf, often referring to himself with grandeur, is a small, blue creature with an insatiable hunger for power and an ambition to rule the world. Accompanied by his loyal minions, Mai and Shu, Pilaf served as Goku's first major antagonist. Learning of the Dragon Balls and their ability to grant any wish, Pilaf set out to collect all 7 in hopes of achieving world domination. During his quest, he crossed paths with Goku and his companions, becoming a recurring obstacle in their journey. Though lacking sufficient strength, Pilaf's cunning enabled him to capture the group, imprisoning them in his castle. With the Dragon Balls gathered, he was on the brink of realizing his evil dream, only for Oolong to thwart him by making an absurd wish for a pair of panties instead.
I live for moments like this!
The Red Ribbon Army, infamous for its ruthless and widespread influence in the criminal underworld, was led by the ambitious Commander Red. The army's primary mission was to gather the Dragon Balls by any means necessary to achieve world domination. However, Commander Red secretly planned to use the wish for his own superficial desire, to increase his height. Commander Red took pride in assembling what he believed to be the finest team of minds and warriors, including notable figures like Officer Black, Colonel Silver, General White, Major Metallatron, the Ninja Murasaki, General Blue, Captain Yellow, Colonel Violet, and the lethal assassin, Mercenary Tao. Goku encountered and defeated each of these individuals, showcasing his superior strength and resolve. In a climactic showdown, Goku launched a solo assault on the Red Ribbon Army's headquarters to retrieve the Dragon Balls, massacring many of its soldiers in the process. This event is often regarded as one of the most brutal displays of Goku's power, despite his typically gentle demeanor. During the chaos, Officer Black discovered Commander Red's true intention of prioritizing his height over the army's goals. Enraged by the betrayal, Black killed Red and briefly assumed leadership, only to meet his own demise at Goku's hands. Following Black's defeat, the remnants of the Red Ribbon Army scattered, leading to the organization's presumed disbandment.
The only thing more gratifying than watching you suffer is knowing that somewhere, Tao is smiling right now.
Tien Shinhan was initially a devoted student of the Crane School, a martial arts academy established by Master Shen, who was Master Roshi's rival. Tien harbored a deep desire for vengeance against Goku, blaming him for defeating and seemingly killing Mercenary Tao during the Red Ribbon Army saga. Mercenary Tao was not only one of Tien's mentors, but also Master Shen's brother. Considering the ruthless and merciless combat style Tao displayed against Goku, it was no surprise that Tien adopted a similar approach. Tien's cruelty became evident during the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, where he mercilessly defeated Yamcha and shattered his leg even after Yamcha had lost consciousness. This brutal streak continued in Tien's fights against Jackie Chun, Master Roshi in disguise, and Goku, though these opponents managed to hold their own far better than Yamcha. Throughout this time, Tien's loyalty was split between his admiration for Master Shen and his unbreakable bond with his lifelong friend, Chaozu. However, after encountering Master Roshi, Tien began to see the error of his ways. Roshi's guidance helped both Tien and Chaozu recognize they were fighting for the wrong side, and as a result, Tien abandoned his thirst for revenge against Goku and took his first steps toward redemption.
We both love inflicting pain. It's an intoxicating feeling, isn't it?
King Piccolo was a demonic Namekian who briefly reigned over the Earth on multiple occasions. Over a century before the events of Dragon Ball, a nameless Namekian living on Earth sought to assume the mantle of its guardian. However, he was denied the role because of the latent evil within his heart. Determined to purify himself, the Namekian concentrated his energy and split into 2 separate beings, the embodiment of pure evil, King Piccolo, and his virtuous counterpart, Kami. While Kami remained in the sanctuary, King Piccolo descended to Earth and unleashed devastation, creating an army of demonic offspring that turned the once peaceful planet into a nightmarish wasteland. Unable to confront Piccolo directly due to their shared life force, meaning the death of one would kill the other, Kami watched helplessly as King Piccolo waged war against humanity. Earth's only resistance came from the Mutaito Training Academy, a martial arts school whose warriors fought valiantly against Piccolo's minions. Among the Academy's students were Master Roshi and Master Shen, the only survivors of the Academy's brutal clashes with Piccolo's forces. Despite their efforts, even the Academy's strongest fighters were powerless against King Piccolo himself. It wasn't until Master Mutaito, their teacher, devised the evil containment wave that humanity had a chance at salvation. In a climactic confrontation, Mutaito successfully sealed King Piccolo inside an electric rice cooker, but at the cost of his own life. Fulfilling their master's final wish, Roshi cast the rice cooker into the sea, ensuring Piccolo would remain imprisoned for centuries. Piccolo's reemergence came after the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, when Pilaf and his minions, seeking power and status, released him from his centuries-long captivity. However, Piccolo was now an elderly, weakened version of himself due to his prolonged imprisonment. Determined to restore his youth and power, Piccolo sought the Dragon Balls, killing Krillin and several others in the process. Enraged by the loss of his friend, Goku confronted King Piccolo, but even in his weakened state, Piccolo proved too formidable. Goku was soundly defeated and presumed dead. Later, Master Roshi attempted to finish what his mentor, Mutaito, had started. Armed with the evil containment wave, Roshi faced King Piccolo but failed to execute the technique and died as a result. Seemingly unstoppable, Piccolo established himself as Earth's tyrannical ruler, even declaring a holiday to celebrate his dominion. Meanwhile, Goku recovered and began training under Korin, an 800-year-old wise cat who helped him unlock untapped reserves of power. When his training concluded, Goku confronted King Piccolo in a final showdown. The battle was fierce, with Piccolo demonstrating his full might after using the Dragon Balls to restore his youth. Despite nearly succumbing to Piccolo's overwhelming strength, Goku ultimately delivered a decisive blow, driving a hole through Piccolo's chest and ending his reign of terror. However, in his dying moments, Piccolo created a reincarnation of himself, Piccolo Jr., ensuring his legacy would endure. This act unintentionally spared Kami's life due to their shared existence. Piccolo, succumbing to his wounds, left his final message to his son to avenge his death and destroy Goku. Following the battle, Goku met Kami in person and learned of Piccolo's reincarnation. Resolute in his mission to protect the Earth, Goku vowed to spend the next 3 years training under Kami to face Piccolo Jr. at the upcoming World Martial Arts Tournament.
You idiots! It took you this long to realize my supremacy?
Piccolo Jr., the final offspring and reincarnation of King Piccolo, is a cunning and strategic warrior who initially served as the primary antagonist in the concluding saga of Dragon Ball. Driven by a deep desire to avenge his father, Piccolo Jr. was resolute in his mission to kill Goku. During their intense battle, Goku managed to wear Piccolo down, though he came dangerously close to defeat after momentarily letting his guard down. Demonstrating newfound abilities, including the power of flight, Goku ultimately triumphed over Piccolo, but chose to spare his life. This act of mercy became pivotal in later events, as Piccolo gradually shed his villainous nature in Dragon Ball Z. His transformation began during the Saiyan saga, where he formed an unlikely bond with Goku's son, Gohan, while training him for the impending battle against the Saiyans. Over time, Piccolo became a steadfast member of the Dragon Team, a trusted ally, and a heroic protector of Earth. Now affectionately regarded as the Grill Master in moments of levity, Piccolo evolved into one of the planet's greatest champions, cementing his place as a beloved figure in the Dragon Ball series.
You're a disgrace to all Saiyans! Now prepare to die!
Raditz, a mid-class Saiyan warrior, was the older brother of Goku and the firstborn son of their parents, Bardock and Gine. As one of the few remaining full-blooded Saiyans after the destruction of their home planet, Raditz served as the first antagonist in Dragon Ball Z. He sought out Goku with the intent of recruiting him to assist in the Saiyan mission of conquering planets. However, upon finding Goku on Earth, Raditz was met with disappointment and anger. Due to a traumatic head injury as a child, Goku had no memory of his Saiyan origins or Raditz himself, and had grown into a kind-hearted and gentle soul rather than the ruthless ruthless warrior he was meant to be. Frustrated, Raditz devised a plan to force Goku into cooperation. He kidnapped Goku's son, Gohan, and demanded Goku to kill 100 humans to secure his son's survival. Instead of complying, Goku allied with Piccolo Jr., his former enemy, to confront Raditz. Despite their combined efforts, the battle was nearly lost until Piccolo unleashed his devastating special beam cannon, fatally wounding Raditz. Before succumbing to his injuries, Raditz revealed his scouter had transmitted Piccolo's explanation of the Dragon Balls to his remaining Saiyan comrades. This revelation set the stage for their arrival on Earth, drawn by the allure of the Dragon Balls and the promise of having their own wishes granted. Raditz assumed that he would one day be resurrected, but unfortunately for him, it never came to pass.
Give them a moment to clear this trash off the battlefield.
Vegeta is a proud and egotistical Saiyan warrior, born on planet Vegeta, the Saiyan homeworld that was destroyed prior to the events of Dragon Ball. As the Prince of Saiyans, Vegeta was the heir to his now deceased father, King Vegeta, and belonged to the elite class of warriors. This distinction set him apart from Saiyans like Goku, who were born as low-class warriors. Accompanied by his partner, Nappa, Vegeta journeyed to Earth in search of the Dragon Balls, intending to use them for immortality. However, they were met with fierce opposition from Earth's defenders. Displaying his cold superiority, Vegeta stood by as Nappa slaughtered the Earth's warriors, leaving only Gohan and Krillin alive by the time Goku returned from his training in the afterlife. Goku swiftly defeated Nappa, leading Vegeta to kill his partner for his failure. With the stage set, Vegeta engaged Goku in an intense battle, quickly proving himself to be far more powerful. Outraged that a low-class Saiyan like Goku could inflict even minor damage on him though, Vegeta resorted to transforming into a great ape, intending to annihilate Goku completely. Though Goku was pushed to the brink of death, the intervention of Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe turned the tide of the battle. Together, they managed to neutralize Vegeta's great ape form and severely weaken him, forcing him to retreat to his spaceship. As Vegeta crawled towards his escape, Krillin prepared to deliver the finishing blow, but Goku insisted on sparing Vegeta's life. This act of mercy became a turning point in Vegeta's character development. Over time, Vegeta transitioned from a ruthless villain into an anti-hero, gradually aligning himself with Earth's defenders. By the Majin Buu saga, he had established a family with Bulma and fully re-embraced his role as a secondary protagonist alongside Goku, continuing his journey toward redemption and growth throughout the series. The Ginyu Force is an extraordinary and elite group of mercenaries hired by Frieza to conquer planets on behalf of his galactic army. This team consists of Jace, Raccoon, Birder, Guldo, and their captain and leader, Ginyu. Interestingly, a former member named Banyu was the first recruit of the Ginyu Force, but didn't remain with them for long. Banyu was ultimately dismissed from the group due to an inability to participate in their iconic special poses and a lack of charisma expected from team members. Despite her departure, Banyu's combat data remained on record. Historically, the Ginyu Force was regarded as some of the strongest warriors in the universe, holding ranks superior to even Zarbon and Dodoria, who served as Frieza's close aides. Each member of the Ginyu Force possesses a unique special ability. Guldo wields psychic powers that allow him to freeze time. Raccoon boasts remarkable endurance, durability, and strength. Birder is famed for his unmatched speed, Jace specializes in advanced ki blast techniques, and Captain Ginyu has the rare ability to switch bodies with almost anyone. These distinctive skills were showcased during their battle against Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta, where the three struggled to put up any significant resistance. While they were physically amongst the universe's strongest fighters, the Ginyu Force is also known for their eccentric behavior, such as crafting bizarre poses, gambling on outcomes of battles, and playing rock paper scissors to decide their combat order. Notably, all members of the Ginyu Force are mutants of their respective races, a trait that explains their exceptionally high battle powers and unique abilities. Despite their incredible strength and reputation, the Ginyu Force met their downfall on planet Namek when Goku arrived and nearly defeated the entire team single-handedly. Ultimately, it was Vegeta who delivered the final blows, eliminating the squad entirely. Captain Ginyu, however, survived in the body of a frog, but he too met his end years later at Vegeta's hands.
Don't worry, it won't hurt too bad. Really, death is my specialty.
Frieza is one of the most notorious villains in the Dragon Ball franchise. The younger son of King Cold and the brother of Cooler, Frieza is a genocidal tyrant who disguises his savagery with a refined and composed demeanor, which shatters when provoked. Ascending to power as the Emperor of Universe 7 after inheriting his father's army, Frieza quickly became infamous for his unrivaled cruelty and immense strength, instilling fear across the cosmos. Frieza is directly responsible for the near extinction of the Saiyan race, a group he despises, though he spares survivors like Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz to serve under his command. Among them, Vegeta was the only one to openly defy him. Frieza is first introduced during the Namek Saga, where he arrives on planet Namek, the homeworld of the Namekian race, seeking the Dragon Balls to achieve immortality. His plans are derailed by the unexpected arrival of Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin, who also seek the Dragon Balls for their own purposes. Despite Vegeta's history as a former member of Frieza's army, the trio was forced to cooperate to survive against the tyrant's powerful subordinates, including the Ginyu Force. Their efforts buy them enough time until Piccolo and Goku arrive on Namek, setting the stage for the showdown against Frieza himself. Frieza demonstrates his terrifying power through a series of transformations, each more formidable than the last. Though the Z-Fighters come perilously close to death, Vegeta ultimately succumbs to Frieza, who coldly declares his demise long overdue. Enraged by Vegeta's death and determined to avenge countless lives Frieza destroyed, Goku confronts the tyrant. Despite initially gaining the upper hand, Goku struggled as Frieza unleashed 50% of his full power. Goku countered with the Spirit Bomb, but the attack failed, prompting Frieza to kill Krillin, triggering Goku's transformation into the legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza's fear of the Saiyan race had been rooted in the myth of the Super Saiyan, a warrior capable of surpassing even his own power. His genocidal actions against the Saiyans were fueled by paranoia that such a figure would one day rise to challenge him. Goku's ascension to Super Saiyan validated Frieza's fears, and he was overwhelmed by Goku's newfound strength. Despite his defeat, Goku chose to spare Frieza, unwilling to prolong the violence. However, in a desperate and reckless move, Frieza used an energy disc to attack Goku, but ended up slicing himself in half. Goku spared him once more, but Frieza squandered his final chance at redemption. Nearly 2 years later, a cybernetically rebuilt Frieza returned to Earth to exact revenge, only to face future Trunks. The young Saiyan effortlessly eliminated Frieza, cutting him down and ensuring his end. Many years later, Frieza was resurrected and reappeared in his newly acquired Golden Frieza form, challenging Goku and Vegeta, but ultimately met his defeat again at Goku's hands. Despite his repeated losses, Frieza remained a persistent presence in the series. During the Tournament of Power, Goku enlisted a deceased Frieza to represent Universe 7, securing their victory and ensuring their survival of their universe. As a reward, Whis revived Frieza, though the tyrant wasted no time resuming his ambition. Rebuilding his army, Frieza manipulated the powerful Saiyan Broly into joining his forces. Though his plan backfired, Frieza avoided direct conflict with stronger foes like Moro later on, focusing instead on training. Spending 10 years in a dimension akin to the hyperbolic time chamber, Frieza unlocked his most powerful transformation yet, Black Frieza. Demonstrating his dominance, Frieza effortlessly outclassed both Goku and Vegeta, solidifying his position as one of the most formidable beings in the cosmos.
I cleared the area of innocence in accordance with your wishes. Do you disagree with my methods?
Android 20, also known as Dr. Gero, is a brilliant yet sinister scientist and one of the founding members of the Red Ribbon Army. He's the mastermind behind the Red Ribbon androids and serves as the main antagonist in the Android saga of Dragon Ball Z. Dr. Gero harbors an intense hatred for Goku due to the latter's defeat of the Red Ribbon Army during his childhood. Gero had a family before his descent into villainy, including a wife, Vomi, also known as Android 21, and 2 children. One of his sons, Jevo, is believed to be the inspiration for the creation of Android 16, bearing an uncanny resemblance to the gentle android. It's theorized that Jevo lost his life during Goku's onslaught against the Red Ribbon Army, fueling Gero's obsession and grief. As a tribute to his son, Gero deliberately designed Android 16 to be gentle, reflecting the character of the boy he lost. Driven by his grief and thirst for revenge, Gero became a cold, calculating individual, willing to go to any lengths to achieve his ultimate goal, Goku's death and global domination through his android creations. After the Red Ribbon Army was decimated, Gero went into hiding in a secret laboratory nestled in the mountains north of North City. Here, he dedicated his life to creating the ultimate fighting machine, tirelessly working to perfect his craft. Employing an advanced tracking device disguised as a ladybug, Gero studied Goku and the Z-Fighters for years, gathering intelligence from Goku's battles against Tien, King Piccolo, Piccolo Jr., the Saiyans Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta, and even Frieza and King Cold. His meticulous observations informed the creation of increasingly powerful androids, threats that would give Goku and his friends a considerable amount of trouble. Gero's influence extended beyond his timeline, with devastating effects on alternate futures. In one such timeline, his creations, androids 17 and 18, annihilated all of Earth's defenders except for Gohan in future Trunks. Gohan later fell victim, and the resulting apocalyptic wasteland highlighted the full potential of Gero's genius and malice. It was only through future Trunks' interventions in the present timeline that this grim future was averted, though the shadow of what could have been loomed heavily over Gero's actions. Obsessed with his creations and driven by his ambitions, Gero took the drastic step of turning himself into Android 20, integrating his human brain into a mechanical body to achieve immortality and continue his work. His ruthless experiments often involved kidnapping individuals to convert them into androids, as seen with androids 17 and 18. These siblings were key to Gero's vendetta against Goku, though they ultimately turned against their creator. This act deprived Dr. Gero of the chance to see his chaotic dreams fully realized. Even after his death, Gero's influence endured through his lineage. His grandson, Dr. Hedo, later emerged as a genius in his own right. Dr. Hedo, bearing no emotional connection to his infamous grandfather, revealed that his parents believed the Red Ribbon Army corrupted Gero's mind, implying he might have been a decent man once. Despite his lack of attachment, Hedo was somewhat manipulated by Red Pharmaceuticals, a facade for the resurrected Red Ribbon Army, into continuing Gero's work under the false pretense that Capsule Corp housed dangerous supervillains. Under this influence, Dr. Hedo created Cell Max, one of the universe's most powerful beings, perpetuating his grandfather's legacy in a new and destructive form.
You're not going to put us to sleep again, old man.
Android 17, originally named Lapis before his transformation, is the younger twin brother of Android 18 and Dr. Gero's 17th android creation. Once an ordinary human, Lapis was kidnapped and remodeled into an android as part of Gero's scheme to exact revenge on Goku. Though initially programmed to serve Gero's vendetta, Android 17 quickly rebelled against his creator, ultimately killing him. This act was fueled by resentment over having his humanity stolen, and the realization that Gero could control him if left alive. As a fighter, Android 17 is remarkably powerful, able to hold his own against Piccolo after the latter's fusion with Kami, a transformation that elevated Piccolo's strength beyond that of Goku and Vegeta at the time. Android 17's key advantage lies in his unlimited stamina, as he's incapable of tiring, making him a formidable opponent in prolonged battles. However, his endurance and power didn't render him invincible. During the Cell Saga, Android 17 was defeated and absorbed by Imperfect Cell, significantly advancing the villain's evolution toward his perfect form. After a decade of absence following the Cell Saga, Android 17 resurfaced in Dragon Ball Super, where he had taken on the role of a national park ranger on a remote island. This occupation suited his outdoorsy and independent nature, reflecting his love for solitude in the natural world. During the Tournament of Power, 17 demonstrated his ability to grow his strength to a divine level, proving himself to be a crucial asset in Universe 7's victory. Though introduced as a seemingly reckless anarchist, Android 17 evolved into a figure of balance and understanding, showcasing a keen ability to discern right from wrong. One of his most surprising feats was taming the Pseudo-Cell Juniors, transforming them from homicidal beings into creatures he could coexist with peacefully.
Good luck. Bye.
Android 18, originally named Lazuli prior to her transformation, is the older twin sister of Android 17 and the 18th creation of Dr. Gero. Like her brother, Lazuli was kidnapped and re-engineered into an android as part of Gero's plot to exact revenge on Goku. Although initially tied to Gero's schemes, Android 18 showed little loyalty to her creator, supporting his elimination when her curiosity about activating Android 16 prompted Android 17 17 to kill Gero. Android 18 possesses immense strength and combat skill, which was evident in an alternate timeline where she eradicated the Z-Fighters alongside her brother. Her power was also demonstrated in the present timeline during her battle with Vegeta, where she decisively humiliated the newly transformed Super Saiyan. However, her strength became her downfall when Cell absorbed her, achieving his perfect form not long after absorbing her brother. Despite her ruthless nature early on, Android 18's character softened in the present timeline. She developed an unexpected bond with Krillin, Goku's childhood friend, following her initial introduction as an enemy. Their first interaction after Vegeta's defeat carried a flirtatious undertone, planting the seeds for a deeper connection. This bond saved Android 18 when Krillin, after Cell was forced to regurgitate her during his battle with Gohan, stood by her side. He later used the Dragon Balls to remove the bomb implanted in her body by Dr. Gero, and even contemplated restoring her humanity, though Shenron's limitations prevented this. Android 18 went on to fall in love with Krillin, and the two built a life together as a family, raising their daughter, Marin. Despite her evolution into a more compassionate individual, Android 18 remains a powerful protector of Earth, standing alongside Krillin and the Z-Fighters to defend their world from any threat.
He should feel lucky. He's the first one to be touched by my perfect body.
Cell is the ultimate creation of Dr. Gero, engineered from the DNA of Earth's most formidable warriors as identified by Gero's remote tracking device. His design aimed to produce the perfect android, granting Cell the combined genetic traits and unique abilities of elite fighters such as Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Frieza, and even Frieza's father, King Cole. Unlike other Red Ribbon androids, Cell was not completed directly by Dr. Gero, but instead by the Doctor's supercomputer in an alternate timeline, meticulously programmed to fulfill his creator's ambitions. In his pursuit of perfection, Cell traveled to Goku's present timeline, intent on absorbing androids 17 and 18 to achieve his ultimate form and dominate the world. Cell's journeys showcase three distinctive forms: his imperfect form, a grotesque insect-like appearance; his semi-perfect form, attained by absorbing android 17, which gave him a more humanoid appearance; and finally, his perfect form, reached after absorbing android 18, where he transformed into a fully humanoid being with unparalleled power and elegance. Cell's abilities extended beyond android absorption though. He could absorb humans, as demonstrated during his rampage across towns, where he drained countless lives to grow stronger. His genetic makeup endowed him with immense power and an arsenal of techniques borrowed from the warriors he was derived from, including the Kamehameha, Special Beam Cannon, and Solar Flare. This combination of power and versatility fostered Cell's arrogance and narcissism, traits fueled by his belief in his superiority over all others. Despite his overwhelming strength, Cell ultimately met his match when Gohan achieved Super Saiyan 2 during their climactic battle at the Cell Games. Gohan's newfound power outmatched Cell, leading to his destruction. However, Cell's design and legacy persisted more than a decade later with the emergence of Cell Max, a creation of Dr. Gero's grandson, Dr. Hedo.
There is no one in the universe who can exceed my power!
Dabura, the king of the demon realm, was a fearsome demon placed under the control of the dark wizard Babidi through a powerful spell, serving as Babidi's right-hand man before the emergence of Majin Buu. His outward appearance mirrors that of a classic demon, complete with a sadistic and cruel personality, further intensified by Babidi's magic. Dabura was instrumental in Babidi's plans, tasked with locating powerful warriors on Earth whose energy could fuel the resurrection of Majin Buu. When confronted by Goku and his allies, Dabura faced Gohan, showcasing power said to rival that of Perfect Cell. Despite his strength, Dabura posed little concern for Goku and Vegeta, who viewed him as a manageable threat. However, Dabura's loyalty to Babidi proved futile, as the wizard discarded him the moment Majin Buu was resurrected. In a tragic twist of fate, Dabura was devoured by Buu, ending his reign as the Demon King. Following Dabura's demise, his former realm fell under the rule of Goma, marking a new chapter in the Demon Realm's history.
Dum-dums.
Majin Buu is a multi-faced being and one of the most formidable adversaries the Z-Fighters have ever encountered. He remains one of the few villains in the Dragon Ball series to have successfully destroyed the Earth entirely, killed nearly all of the Z-Fighters, and even caused havoc in the afterlife. Throughout Dragon Ball Z, each form of Majin Buu exhibited distinct personalities and goals, effectively making them separate individuals. While all of these forms are referred to as Majin Buu, they're commonly identified by nicknames. Kid Buu represents the original, pure form of Majin Buu. Unlike his other iterations, Kid Buu's behavior is irrational, chaotic, and spontaneous. Though he appears the smallest in size, he's the most dangerous due to his unrelenting evil and unpredictability. According to lore, Majin Buu was initially believed to have been created by the wizard Bibidi. However, Akira Toriyama later clarified that Buu had existed since ancient times, predating any known memory of his origins, and Bibidi merely possessed the knowledge to awaken the dormant monster. Upon being summoned, Majin Buu proved to be a nearly unstoppable force of destruction, uncontrollable by even Bibidi. Together, they wreaked havoc across the entire universe, eventually arriving at the sacred world of the Kai, home to the Supreme Kai, the rulers of the universe, and Bibidi's sworn enemies. Here, Majin Buu slaughtered the West Supreme Kai and North Supreme Kai before facing the South Supreme Kai, the strongest among them. Although the South Supreme Kai fought valiantly, Buu ultimately absorbed him, transforming into a larger, more muscular version of himself. Buu then turned his sights on Shin, the Supreme Kai familiar to fans, only to be intercepted by the Grand Supreme Kai. Unable to kill Buu due to his regenerative abilities, the Grand Supreme Kai was absorbed during their confrontation, resulting in the creation of Fat Buu, a childlike version of the monster. Fat Buu inherited the Grand Supreme Kai's innocence, which tempered his wild and evil nature, making him far more docile and easier to control. Seizing the opportunity, Bibidi sealed Majin Buu inside a sealed ball with little resistance. Shortly after, Shin killed Bibidi, leading the universe to believe that the threat of Majin Buu had been eradicated for good. However, 5 million years later, Fat Buu was resurrected on Earth by Bobbidi, Bibidi's son or doppelganger. What followed was a series of chaotic events, including Fat Buu murdering Bobbidi, the clash between Good Buu and Evil Buu, the emergence of Super Buu, and the eventual removal of all individuals absorbed by Super Buu, Gotenks, Piccolo, Gohan, and Fat Buu by Goku and Vegeta while inside his body. These events culminated in the rebirth of Kid Buu, the original, pure, evil incarnation of Majin Buu. After Kid Buu's destruction in Dragon Ball Z, he was reincarnated by King Yama as Oob, an innocent human boy possessing Kid Buu's immense power. Although currently untrained, Oob became a vital ally to Goku and the Z-Fighters, representing the potential for redemption and growth even for a being born of pure destruction. Majin Buu's legacy extended beyond his actions on Earth though. His unparalleled reign of terror earned him a fearsome reputation across Universe 7, so much so that King Cold warned his own son Frieza to never challenge Majin Buu. In Dragon Ball Super, it's revealed that Kid Buu retained the power of a god from his absorption from the Grand Supreme Kai after splitting from him during the climactic battles with Goku and Vegeta. Majin Buu's existence, from his chaotic upbringings to his eventual reincarnation, remains one of the most compelling and impactful stories in the Dragon Ball universe.
Of course, before any creation must come destruction.
Though not a villain in the conventional sense, Lord Beerus is the god of destruction for Universe 7 and serves as the main antagonist in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Beyond his angelic attendant Whis, his siblings, father, and Grand Zeno himself, Beerus is the most powerful entity in his universe. Despite his immense strength, he's often lazy and lacks enthusiasm for his duties, except when Zeno is involved. Beerus is acutely aware that the Omni King could erase him from existence with ease. Beerus is known for his hot-headed and selfish demeanor, often displaying a short temper over trivial matters, such as being denied pudding. Having lived for over 75 million years, Beerus has witnessed numerous universe-ending threats, yet frequently prioritized his sleep over intervening. This is evident during the long-standing conflict with Majin Buu, a threat Beerus could have easily neutralized, but chose to ignore. True to his title, Beerus wields the power of destruction, granting him the ability to obliterate entire planets with a mere touch, eradicate them with a sneeze, or even erase individuals from existence with a simple gesture. Both Goku and Vegeta, two of Universe 7's most powerful mortals, have faced Beerus individually, only to be soundly defeated. To this day, neither Saiyan is strong enough to match him, and the full extent of Beerus' power remains a mystery. His reputation as a fearsome deity precedes him. The Supreme Kai tremble at his strength, and even Frieza, one of the most notorious villains in the universe, was explicitly warned by his father to never provoke Beerus. However, Beerus is not entirely invincible. According to Whis, Beerus' life is intrinsically tied to that of the Supreme Kai of Universe 7, Shin. If one were to die, the other would perish as well. This connection was demonstrated in future Trunks' timeline, where Shin's death at the hands of Deborah and Babidi also resulted in Beerus' demise, leaving Universe 7 without a god of destruction. Despite his destructive role, Beerus has a complex sense of morality. While he despises evil beings, he has no qualms about using them to further his own objectives. For instance, he allowed Frieza to maintain his vast galactic empire, even though he disapproved of the tyrant's actions. In fact, though Frieza had his own motives for destroying the Saiyan homeworld, planet Vegeta, Beerus had already ordered its destruction, finding the task too bothersome to handle personally. These days, Beerus alternates between his own planet and Earth, drawn to Earth's culinary delights, a key reason he decided not to destroy the planet after defeating Goku in their first encounter. Alongside Whis, Beerus has taken on a more supportive role in Dragon Ball Super, training Goku and Vegeta in the art of divine combat.
For your persistent insolence and repeated affronts toward a deity, you will now reap the swift and severe consequences of your actions!
Zamasu, the former North Kai of Universe 10 and Supreme Kai apprentice under Gowasu, was initially selected as Gowasu's successor due to his remarkable potential and intellect. However, this decision would lead to universal consequences. Zamasu appeared calm and methodical on the surface, but his true nature revealed a deep mistrust for mortals. He viewed them as inherently flawed, incapable of resolving conflict without resorting to violence, and trapped in an endless cycle of war and destruction. Zamasu's warped sense of justice led him to believe that the eradication of mortals was the only solution to prevent further chaos. His encounter with Goku marked a turning point. Zamasu became enraged by Goku's carefree demeanor and perceived disrespect toward divine authority. The fact that a mortal like Goku could attain power comparable to that of the gods and casually challenge them deeply offended Zamasu, solidifying his belief in the inherent evil of mortals. His disdain extended to the gods as well, who he deemed useless for allowing mortals to thrive unchecked. This growing hatred and obsession with the imperfection of mortal life drove Zamasu to devise a radical plan to annihilate all mortals across existence. Zamasu's descent into villainy spanned across multiple timelines. His actions became increasingly malicious as he enacted his Zero Mortal plan, seeking to eliminate all mortals and the gods who protected them. When confronted with the devastation caused by his counterparts in alternate timelines, Zamasu displayed no remorse. Instead, he expressed delight in witnessing the extent of his influence and the scale of destruction his ideology had caused. Across timelines, Zamasu's corruption led to a series of chaotic events, including the death of his master Gowasu and the other Supreme Kai, which in turn resulted in the demise of their respective gods of destruction. Recognizing the growing threat, Beerus, the god of destruction for Universe 7, intervened and erased the present Zamasu before he could execute his plan. However, this decisive action wasn't enough to halt the looming catastrophe, as Zamasu's schemes across parallel worlds were already in motion, signaling the arrival of greater chaos.
Go on, Goku! Rejoice! Only through me will you finally reach the pinnacle of beauty you have sought for so very long!
Goku Black, in essence, is Zamasu's soul inhabiting Goku's mortal body. In an alternate timeline, Zamasu used the Super Dragon Balls in Universe 6 to swap bodies with Goku from Universe 7. Once in Goku's body, Zamasu mercilessly killed the Saiyan himself, along with his wife Chi-Chi and their son Goten. This act marked the beginning of Zamasu's reign of terror, as he went on to murder his master Gowasu, Trunks' mother Bulma, and the majority of Earth's population. Serving as one of the primary antagonists of future Trunks' timeline, Goku Black partnered with future Zamasu, another alternate counterpart of himself who became immortal, to execute their shared plan of annihilating all mortals across every timeline. Goku Black retains Goku's physical appearance but dons dark clothing and a single Patara earring, symbolizing his Kai origins. Zamasu stole Goku's body after witnessing its potential, recognizing it as an ideal vessel to attain the strength necessary to fulfill his genocidal ambitions. A battle-hardened masochist, Black takes pleasure in receiving pain during combat, deriving joy from the thrill of the fight and the opportunity to grow stronger with each injury. This inclination mirrors certain traits from the Goku of the stolen timeline, reflecting the Saiyan's instinctive drive to seek challenges and improve through combat. Black, however, channels this trait into his sadistic enjoyment of destruction and his insatiable desire to face formidable foes, often holding back his power to prolong fights and savor the experience. Despite his willingness to kill indiscriminately, Black exhibits a Saiyan-like determination determination to grow stronger through personal effort, disdaining shortcuts, ironic given that his very existence as Goku Black is a shortcut to immense power. His relentless pursuit of strength is evident as he vows to hunt down future Trunks after the latter escapes to the past. Leveraging the Saiyan cells in his stolen body, Black continuously grows stronger by recovering from injuries and near-death experiences, a trait that enables him to rival and eventually surpass even the strongest Z fighters. In the manga, Black exploits this regenerative ability to push himself further, first matching Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta while still in his standard Super Saiyan form, and eventually surpassing the power of a Super Saiyan God. He develops his own unique transformation, Super Saiyan Rose, which further enhances his power and solidifies him as a near unstoppable force. The threat of Goku Black proved overwhelming for Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks, as the trio struggled to contend with his escalating strength and tactical superiority. Despite Trunks' growing power, Black consistently remained one step ahead, forcing the heroes to retreat multiple times amidst chaotic confrontations. Though Black arguably came close to being defeated on several occasions, he was never truly vanquished before fusing with future Zamasu, creating a being of such immense power that Goku and his allies could not hope to defeat him alone.
All hail Zamasu.
Merge Zamasu, the Potara fusion of Goku Black and future Zamasu, stands as the final antagonist in future Trunks' timeline. This fusion combines Goku Black's overwhelming power and future Zamasu's immortality, creating a being of unparalleled strength and partial invincibility. Retaining the arrogance and self-righteousness of both individuals, Merge Zamasu views himself as the ultimate embodiment of justice and divine brilliance. Declaring himself a supreme god, he begins his unrelenting assault on his enemies, convinced of his divine mission to purge mortals from existence. Despite their best efforts, Goku and Vegeta are hopelessly outmatched by Merge Zamasu's overwhelming power. As a last resort, they use the Potara earrings to fuse into Vegito Blue, engaging Zamasu in an intense battle. Although Vegito initially gains the upper hand, the fusion ultimately proves unable to finish the job before the time limit expires, leaving Zamasu to claim victory once again. Merge Zamasu's downfall eventually comes at the hands of future Trunks, who, wielding the Sword of Hope, delivers a decisive blow to the tyrant. However, Zamasu's essence refuses to fade entirely. In the anime, his will persists as an infinite, omnipresent force, spreading to consume the remnants of Earth itself. In the manga, Zamasu's determination manifests as thousands of clones, each intent on pursuing Goku and the others across dimensions to complete his divine mission. Both iterations of Merge Zamasu prove so overwhelming that only the intervention of the Omni King, Grand Zeno, is sufficient to stop him. Using his unparalleled power of erasure, Zeno obliterates Zamasu entirely, but at the cost of wiping out future Trunks' entire timeline.
Might makes right, and might alone! Without strength, we have nothing!
Jiren the Grey, while not a villain in the traditional sense, is the most formidable fighter of the Pride Troopers from Universe 11. Renowned for his unparalleled strength, Jiren is considered one of the strongest mortals in the multiverse, even surpassing the power of his universe's god of destruction. A reserved and honorable warrior, Jiren embodies strength and justice, adhering to a philosophy that absolute power is the key to achieving his ideals. Preferring to rely solely on his own abilities, Jiren often fought alone, and his overwhelming power ensured victory in nearly every battle. Jiren serves as the main antagonist in the Tournament of Power, presenting arguably the greatest challenge Goku and his allies have ever faced. His unwavering sense of duty to Universe 11 stems from his tragic past, marked by the loss of his loved ones and his master, Gichin. This trauma fueled Jiren's belief that strength is the ultimate path to justice, shaping his relentless pursuit of power and self-perfection. However, Jiren's singular reliance on strength began to evolve during his intense battle with Goku and his friends, particularly as he witnessed their unyielding trust and camaraderie. In his climactic battle with Goku, Jiren unlocked previously unimaginable reserves of power, going toe-to-toe with Goku's newly acquired Ultra Instinct form, an ability so advanced that even the gods of destruction find it challenging to master. Despite his incredible power, Jiren ultimately learned that strength is not the only path to greatness, as Goku and his friends demonstrated the significance of trust, teamwork, and resilience. Jiren's journey in the Tournament of Power redefined the essence of strength, leaving a lasting impact on the Dragon Ball universe. His epic clash with the Saiyans remains a cornerstone moment, carrying its influence into future arcs of the series.
I was so sure my strength was getting close to its peak, but then this guy showed up and was so much stronger than me. He's probably even stronger than Beerus.
Broly, the redefined Saiyan mutant and son of Paragus, isn't what you would call a villain in the traditional sense either. He's the latest of Universe 7's legendary Super Saiyans, demonic Saiyan warriors who appear every 1,000 years. Mind you, legends, by their very nature, are open to interpretation. Born on planet Vegeta shortly after Prince Vegeta, Broly's extraordinary power, which surpassed that of the young prince, led to King Vegeta exiling him to a remote and inhospitable planet Vampa. The king feared Broly's potential to outshine his son and become an uncontrollable threat. Stranded on Vampa for over 40 years, Broly survived in harsh isolation alongside his father until they were discovered and rescued by Chilai and Lemo of the Frieza Force. Recognizing Broly's unmatched strength, Frieza sought to manipulate him and Paragus into battling Goku and Vegeta, hoping to use Broly as a tool in his quest for universal dominance. However, Frieza's plan backfired spectacularly. Broly, though a quiet and reserved Saiyan with a deep love for his companions, possesses monstrous strength. In his first encounter with Goku and Vegeta, his inability to control his immense rage led him to undergo multiple transformations, including Super Saiyan, pushing both Goku and Vegeta to their limits. The battle escalated to such extremes that the Saiyan duo were forced to fuse into Gogeta to gain the upper hand. Even then, Broly proved incredibly resilient, making him one of the most challenging foes they had ever faced. The battle concluded when Chilai used the Dragon Balls to wish Broly back to planet Vampa, sparing Earth from further destruction and saving Broly from certain defeat. Following this intense confrontation, Goku sought out Broly on Vampa, befriending him and helping to relocate him, along with Chilai and Lemo, to Beerus' planet to avoid Frieza's reach. Now, Broly is learning to control his immense power and manage his rage, even mastering his Super Saiyan form. With his newfound stability, Broly has become the newest rival to Goku and Vegeta, marking a new chapter in his journey in the Saiyan legacy. Moro, the Consumer of Worlds, is a formidable wizard who once posed a catastrophic threat to Universe 7 approximately 10 million years ago. Making his terrifying return, Moro became the central antagonist of the Galactic Patrol Prisoner Saga. Completely devoid of compassion or respect for life, Moro views all living beings as mere sustenance for his pleasure, ridiculing the very concept of universal peace. Deceptive and manipulative by nature, he exploited others to achieve his goals, such as using Cranberry to restore his lost powers and enlisting the Saganbo gang to cement his position as the universe's strongest. Moro typically speaks with a calm and composed demeanor, but this facade crumbles into seething rage whenever he encounters the Grand Supreme Kai, against whom he's harbored an ancient grudge. Millions of years ago, Moro's rampage across the universe led to the complete extinction of life on 320 planets. During his climactic battle with the Grand Supreme Kai and South Supreme Kai, both of whom faced Moro and Majin Buu on separate occasions without the assistance of Beerus, he unleashed his devastating magic, siphoning the life energy of entire worlds and consuming it to amplify his power further. Ultimately, the Grand Supreme Kai made a grave sacrifice, depleting his godly power to seal Moro's magic and imprison him. The Galactic Patrol sentenced Moro to death for his crimes, but no one was strong enough to carry out the execution, leaving him confined for the next 10 million years. This imprisonment ended when Cranberry freed him, unleashing Moro back into the cosmos. Following his escape, Moro engaged in a series of devastating battles, pitting his formidable forces against Earth's defenders. His relentless onslaught pushed the Z-Fighters to the brink of defeat, with Moro nearly annihilating them all with ease. The intervention of Beerus, the angel brother of Whis, helped stall Moro long enough for Goku to master Ultra Instinct. Even so, Moro continued to escalate the stakes, almost triggering a galactic self-destruction in his desperation to win. Ultimately, peace was restored thanks to Oob's unwitting intervention, providing the energy needed to vanquish Moro and save Universe 7 from his malevolent grasp. Granola is the last surviving member of the Cerulean race, a people eradicated by the Saiyans many years ago under the command of Frieza and King Vegeta. Among the victims of this genocide was his mother, whose death played a pivotal role in shaping Granola's deep-seated hatred for the Saiyans. Saiyans. In his youth, Granola became a bounty hunter for a group known as the Heaters, a powerful and manipulative organization. Driven by his desire for vengeance, Granola eventually made a wish using his planet's Dragon Balls to become the strongest warrior in the universe. Armed with unparalleled strength, he confronted Goku and Vegeta, pushing the two Saiyans to their limits and nearly killing them. It wasn't until the intervention of Minato, a surviving Namekian from his homeworld, that Granola learned the truth. The Saiyans were not his true enemies. In fact, Goku's father, Bardock, had saved Granola's life when he was a child. The real culprits were the Heaters themselves. Led by Elec, with members Maki, Oil, and Gas, the Heaters served as brokers under Frieza, profiting from the conquest and sales of planets. Their ultimate goal was to overthrow Frieza and seize control of the galaxy for themselves. To achieve this, the Heaters manipulated Granola into fighting Goku and Vegeta, hoping the universe's most powerful threats would eliminate each other. While Granola clashed with the Saiyans, Elec used the Cerulean Dragon Balls to grant Gas, the Heaters' strongest member, the title of the universe's strongest warrior. Gas unleashed his devastating power, nearly killing Granola, Goku, and Vegeta. However, the combined efforts of the three slowed Gas down just enough. It was Frieza, arriving in his new Black Frieza form, who ultimately delivered the fatal blow to Gas with ease. After showcasing his immense power by humiliating Goku and Vegeta in battle, Frieza chose to leave them alive, sparing Granola as well. This sequence of events forced Granola to confront his misguided hatred toward the Saiyans and recognize the true villains behind his suffering. Despite surviving the ordeal, Granola faced a grim future. His wish for ultimate strength came at the cost of 150 years of his life, leaving him with only 3 years to live. Choosing not to join Goku and Vegeta in their training on Beerus's planet, Granola stayed on his homeworld, accepting his limited time. As of now, it's presumed that Granola is either in his final days or has already succumbed to the consequences of his fateful wish.
Is that all you've got? Okay then, guess it's my turn.
Cell Max is a bio-android engineered by Dr. Hedo, designed as an enhanced version of Cell with vastly superior power. His appearance closely resembles the semi-perfect form of the original Cell, although Cell Max is predominantly red rather than green. Magenta, the son of Commander Red, the infamous former leader of the Red Ribbon Army, was the current head of Red Pharmaceuticals, a seemingly legitimate company that secretly served as a cover for the revived Red Ribbon organization. Seeking revenge against Goku and his allies, Magenta employed Dr. Hedo, the genius grandson of Dr. Gero, to create a new line of androids to fulfill his goals. Despite the successful creation of the Gamma androids, which Dr. Hedo deemed sufficient, Magenta insisted on completing Cell Max to prioritize his plans for vengeance. While Cell Max's physical form was finished though, his mind control program remained incomplete. This oversight proved critical, as Magenta prematurely activated Cell Max, resulting in a completely mindless and uncontrollable berserk creature. Unlike the original Cell, who exhibited a calm and calculating demeanor, Cell Max lacked rationality, though he demonstrated a level of combat instinct strong enough to challenge experienced warriors like Piccolo. Even in his orange state, Piccolo faced tremendous difficulty holding his own against Cell Max. In both the anime and manga adaptations, Cell Max is arguably portrayed as a near-universal threat, possessing raw power on a scale unlike anything Piccolo and his allies had previously encountered. Ultimately, it was Gohan's newly unlocked Beast form combined with the aid of his friends and Piccolo's guidance that led to Cell Max's defeat, averting the catastrophic danger he posed.
My friends, what the Saiyans have destroyed, we will rebuild. This is it.
Baby was the sole survivor of the Tuffle race, resurrected and rebuilt by his creator, or creation, Dr. Mew, as a machine mutant in Dragon Ball GT. His purpose was to exterminate the Saiyans and restore his race by taking control of Earth's population. In a distant galaxy, the Tuffles and Saiyans waged a brutal war, during which the last of the Tuffles engineered genetically superior life forms, parasite-like organisms infused with the DNA of the Tuffle King. These parasites were sent across the universe with a single goal: to exact revenge on the Saiyans for the destruction of the Tuffle race at the hands of King Vegeta. Baby became the first of of these Tuffle parasites to return, seeking vengeance against the Saiyans and devising his universal Tuffleization plan to revive his race. Upon arriving on Earth, Baby successfully gained control of Goku's friends and family, ultimately possessing Vegeta, who became the perfect host for his schemes. In Vegeta's body, Baby achieved multiple transformations, including Super Baby 1 and Super Baby 2, which are advanced forms comparable to Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. Baby's power is immense, surpassing Goku's even in his Super Saiyan 3 form. However, it's worth noting that Goku wasn't fully accustomed to this form due to his smaller body at the time. Baby's overwhelming strength forced Goku to transform into a Great Ape, and with his newly regrown tail, Goku further ascended into the form of Super Saiyan 4. Despite Baby's immense power and the advantages of Vegeta's Saiyan body, Super Saiyan 4 Goku ultimately proved to be too strong. In a climactic battle, Goku unleashed a devastating Kamehameha wave, propelling Baby into the sun where he's vaporized, ending his plans for revenge and ensuring the safety of the Saiyan race and the universe.
It's flattering to see the kind of show you put on for your most dangerous enemies, but ultimately, it's meaningless. Let me show you what I mean.
After Baby is defeated by Goku, peace seems to have been restored at last. However, in the depths of hell, two notorious masterminds, Dr. Mew and Dr. Gero, devise a horrific scheme to create the ultimate android capable of finally eliminating Goku. Their plan involves merging the existing Android 17 on Earth with a machine mutant they construct in Hell, resulting in the creation of a terrifyingly powerful android. The result of their fusion is Super Android 17, a being that combines the strength and abilities of both Android 17 and Hellfighter 17. Super Android 17 views himself as the ultimate android, determined to prove his superiority by killing Super Saiyan 4 Goku. His overwhelming power and confidence lead him to dismiss all others as inferior, a personality trait reminiscent of Dr. Gero's earlier attempt to create the strongest android, Perfect Cell. However, in this instance, Super Android 17 is said to surpass Perfect Cell in strength. His power proves to be an insurmountable challenge for Vegeta and the others, as well as Goku, who struggles to overcome him even in Super Saiyan 4. Ultimately, it's through the intervention of Android 18 that Goku is able to find an opening to exploit. With her assistance, Goku seizes the opportunity to unleash his Dragon Fist technique, delivering a decisive blow that destroys Super Android 17.
Your people, your culture, your planet, everything you've worked for, you can kiss it all goodbye.
Sin Shenron, also known as Omega Shenron, is the 7th and final Shadow Dragon to appear, representing the one-star Dragon Ball. As the primary antagonist of the Shadow Dragon saga and the ultimate villain of Dragon Ball GT, Omega Shenron stands as a formidable and malevolent force. The Shadow Dragons themselves are dark beings born from the accumulated negative energy created by the overuse of the Dragon Balls throughout this series. Each time a wish was made, both positive and negative energies were released. While the positive energy fulfilled the wish, the negative energy was absorbed by the Dragon Balls and slowly built up over time. Eventually, this imbalance led to the birth of the Shadow Dragons. Omega Shenron emerged as the result of the wish made by Mr. Popo in Dragon Ball Z to revive everyone on planet Namek who had been killed by Frieza and his soldiers. His unparalleled power among the Shadow Dragons likely stems from the magnitude of this wish. To call Omega Shenron powerful would be an understatement. His strength was so immense that neither Goku nor Vegeta could defeat him individually, even in their Super Saiyan 4 forms. The dire situation forced the Saiyans to fuse, creating Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta in a desperate attempt to counter Omega Shenron's overwhelming might. Despite being vastly outmatched by Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Omega Shenron's resilience proved extraordinary. He survived a point-blank assault from Gogeta's most powerful attack, the Big Bang Kamehameha, and managed to outlast the time limit of the fusion, leaving Earth's defenders in a state of futility. In the end, the only attack capable of defeating Omega Shenron was the Spirit Bomb, but the energy from the Earth alone was insufficient. Goku had to reach out to the entire universe, gathering energy to create the Universal Spirit Bomb. With this ultimate attack, Omega Shenron was finally obliterated, restoring both the Earth and the Dragon Balls to their original states, marking the end of his reign of terror.